Kody Merritt. How you doing, sir?
Super duper. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm really good. I'm really good. I'm happy to talk with you again. We haven't talked since the last time you were in East versus West, right?
Yeah, it's because you're kind of stuck up. What the hell?
Yeah, you keep sending me messages. I'm like, no, not now.
I don't even like this guy.
Yeah, flying from girls, champagne, all the good stuff.
Yeah, you're too busy. You got too much going on.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, look at that.
I got so
Hey,
small. This doesn't fit at all. This doesn't
hey, you
fit my
know that
life.
you've got rubber bands in the sleeves. You can tighten those around your elbow,
I know,
around your
but still, still.
it's supposed to be loose.
Uh, okay, okay, this is that better. Yeah,
And
okay,
then you
yeah,
put it around your shoulder as well.
yeah.
You can tighten it up there as well.
Yeah. Oh, I can put it on my head as well. Yeah.
I
So,
made them loose so they would like contain heat.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna wear this for my next match. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
forgot
you
that
should. It's one of a kind.
it's one of my. It has my last name, Lepinch. So, yeah.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
I
Thank
hope I spelled it right.
you. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay, perfect.
Stop sweating, okay?
I'm always sweating, man.
Did you eat some chili right before we started this?
No, actually, my wife made waffles, so
You're sweating.
I had some nutritious waffles with peanut butter and syrup.
Mm. It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's
So,
terrible. What are you talking about?
uh, let's talk about ventriloquism, right?
I was wondering if I'd get any comments on that.
Yeah. Also, underwater basket weaving, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a talent.
I think it is. It should be very hard. But where do you weave
Yep.
them from? It's weeds, like seaweeds, or what do you
Well,
think?
yeah, whatever's available, I guess.
Just, every time it's adventure, you just go down. You're like, what is available?
I'm sure you just got to find something to weave.
And so, do you have any, skills in ventriloquism?
I do not.
Okay.
Nope. I was actually at lunch yesterday with my daughter, and I was posting that post, and I thought I came up with underwater basket weaving and proper baking techniques.
Mhm.
But I'm like, what's another one to put on there? She's like, ventriloquism. So that was actually her idea, not mine.
Yes, that is. That's very good. So let's start with the first one. Last time you were in East versus West, you faced Artur Morozo.
Yes.
Probably from all the active left arm wrestlers, because there's a case for a lot of people. From the active ones, he is the best guy on the planet. Do you think so? How the match felt? Give us your thoughts, your experience, because you have a lot of time to think about it afterwards.
Yes, I did. First of all, Artem's a great kid. Like, I really like him a lot. He's not only is he a phenomenal athlete, he is just a good person in general. And I was so the first. I guess we can break it down match by match. In the first match, when I hit into his hand, I felt his wrist was super, super solid. And we slipped right then. And in the strap, I feel pretty confident in the strap. And when we put the strap on, I thought, oh, I might have a chance. And the ready go went, and we were in the middle of the table for a couple of seconds. And I could feel him surge sideways, and his wrist would bend just a little bit. But then he was able to adjust, took a little bit higher grip, and I didn't counter very well, and that was that. He out arm wrestled me in that match for sure. After that, I just feel like he got in my head, and I thought, this kid is just a freak. And I tried to get out of each grip and get back in the strap, and he didn't let me. And it just didn't work out very well. So yeah, he's incredibly strong, and I've arm wrestled him, and then I arm wrestled Corey West, and Corey basically made me look the same. So I'm anxious to see the match between those two. But I do think Artem is number one. But I think Corey has a legitimate chance to maybe get a couple wins on him. I don't know. That'd be interesting to see.
I think that's one of the matches that needs to be made, because I feel like Corey is so impressive with his left.
It is made.
It is made.
It's at King of the Table.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I actually knew this, but I was thinking it's a secret. I just talked with Idris, and I don't know which matches are out, so I'm just.
Oh, maybe it is a secret. Oh, way to spoil everything, Gray.
So I don't know. The chat is gonna kill us right now. Everyone's gonna kill us right now.
If it's a secret and I wasn't supposed to say anything, I feel like a dork. But I'm excited for it regardless.
Yeah, it's something that needs to happen. I feel like Corey is so impressive.
For sure.
He's right there, and that's the one to make right now from all the.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it. They are both very strong, powerful individuals. Corey is a side pressure freak, and I know that Artem's got a lot of back pressure and a lot of hand control. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways how that match can go, because I can see like the way that Morozov, when he faced Dadikyan, he switched up styles. It was because I expected different things from him, and he just showed up with a different technique on that day, and now he's taking some time off, so he should be like in a good shape, like not beat up at all.
When I arm wrestled him, he had told me that he was having some injury issues in his arm, and he wasn't able to hook very well. And he was worried about getting into a side pressure type struggle with me, because he felt like his injury would flare up in that case. So he has had enough time. Maybe that's healed and he feels a lot better now. So that I would like to see him 100% for sure.
That is definitely the match. So you're coming back for East versus West 7 to face another guy from Kazakh, the guy that you have a similar history with. What he has done, in my opinion, is one of the most impressive things we have seen in a long time. Weighing way less than anyone else, like way under the class limit. He beat everyone and became WF World Champion, senior men with left arm 110 kilos, the title that you also hold.
Yeah.
So this match, your feelings about this match, how do you see him?
Well, I'm super anxious, and in a good way and a bad way. I'm excited and I'm super nervous about it as well. His move is incredible, and it amazes me how he does it. He's able to just basically with hand and wrist control just suck people into a hook. He doesn't shoot forward, he doesn't jump into it, he just powers them down, and that is impressive, especially against guys that are 100 pounds heavier than him. And that really worries me, that and his speed. He does it super fast. I feel like that my move is good against people that kind of do a low hand hook type move. I feel like I have a good defense against that. I just don't know if I'm fast enough to stop him from doing it. That's my fear. Am I going to be quick enough to stop him from sinking that move? So, but I have seen him in top rolls too, and he's really good at top rolling. So he's got more than just that move. I lost your.
Sorry. It's me. So his style is so weird that I call his style Alishan, because it's so weird. He will cup you, supinate you, drag you to the side, and then pronate you at the end. And
Yeah.
when I asked him when he was facing Petrenko, like, what's the plan A if this, like, plan B if this fails? He's like, I only have plan A and it will work. So at least you kind of can prepare for that one move, because he doesn't, like, he switches up with the right arm, but with left eye, he will sometimes do some weird stuff, but with strong opponents, he will go for the ace.
Yeah. And he's super good at it. Like, he's perfected it. He does it really, really well. And not only that, he also is like, he's got like mid-match explosivity where he can hit in the middle of the match like it's a fresh start. And it's pretty impressive what he can do with that.
Do you had anyone, you know, working on that style? Because it's drag plus side pressure oriented style. Did you practice that? Did you work on it?
Yes, I've had Jordan Seal come over quite a bit, and Jordan's about the same size as Alajan. Is it Alazan or Alajan?
Alajan.
Alajan. Okay. So he and Jordan are similar in size. Jordan's actually a really good inside arm wrestler as well. So I've been trying to work on that. It's just hard finding someone with that amount of power. Mm. So the things that I was doing is I would once Jordan and I would grip up, I'd have someone put a rubber band around my arm and kind of imitate more side pressure into that backwards drag area. So I had to use that and be able to defend against it and power through it. So I did work on it as much as I could. And I'm actually headed to Bob Brown's today for my last big practice. So we'll work on a little bit more today.
Good. It's kind of weird one, because like he's a smaller guy, much smaller guy, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember you messaged me, I think, when Engin offered you this match, and you asked me like, what do you think? And I said, like, a lot of people will not understand this, but if you beat him, like, we will still give you a lot of credit for that, because he's ace, you know.
Yeah.
And if he beats you, he will get also a lot of credit, because that's you. So yeah. I feel,
well, I talked to Engin about it, and Engin's like, well, it's good and bad. He says, if you win this match, you probably should, because you're the bigger guy. If you lose this match, it's not going to look very good for you because he's such a little guy. But people that are in the know in the arm wrestling world know how good he is.
Yes.
So I think it's a good matchup style-wise, because we're polar opposites. And I think that whoever can control that, really, if I can control his cup, keep his wrist straight, yeah, I think I've got a really good chance. If he can control my pronation and get his cup set, he's probably got the better opportunity there. So I think it really comes down to that. Whoever can get wrist and hand control in their wanted lane is probably going to come out on top. Although there's a part of me that really wants to see if I can compete with him in a hook. But I don't want to do it in this match. No. Yeah, because I've been working really hard on my hook and my inside game, and I feel like it's pretty good, but I don't want to test it in this situation.
You know who has said the same thing when every time I meet him? Michael Todd. Michael was like, I feel like when he was facing Gennady, he's like, I think I can beat him inside. I really want to hook him. And I'm like, it was like,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, it'd be something more like to test like on a practice table and see in that situation. Yeah. But yeah, I just, it's one of those things that like you want to know like where you stand in different aspects of your game, and he would be the perfect guy to see where my hook is, but I don't want to do it in this match. I want to do what I can do.
I think for me the interesting part is like because you're both held the same title. And could he still won if you were in a class? And could you still won if he was in the class? And
I watched the entire class. Like I watched every match, not just all of his. I watched all of them. And I had some questions if Georgie wouldn't have had that war.
But which Saulius Abromaitis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither one of them won another match. They were both done after that.
Yeah.
And if Georgie wouldn't have had that bad draw, because the guy that Alijan beat was the number 2 guy from Romania, or from Bulgaria, and Georgie's the number 1 guy from Bulgaria. So I wonder how that would have turned out if Georgie wouldn't have had that bad match. That would have made me, having seen that, I would have liked to have seen where Georgie would have matched up with him, because I think Georgie and I arm wrestle very similarly.
Yeah, pretty much like that.
But it doesn't matter how the bracket lays out. Like, some people could say that was unfortunate Georgie had that tough match, but it really doesn't matter. Like, Alijan did amazing stuff in that tournament. Like, it was incredible what he did.
Yeah, I don't know when we have seen. It's one thing to move up like a weight class. He moved up a lot of weight classes, and especially in open weight. It's Wild Wild West there. So yeah, what he did is impressive, and I'm looking so much forward to this match, because for me it's interesting. Can he beat you? Can he get inside? Can you stop all that side pressure power coming your way? So that's
the question. Is my pronation and back pressure good enough to flatten his wrist? That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. And if it is, then I have a really good chance. If it isn't, I'm in for a long day.
Yeah, that's a cool match. How's been your training for this? Like, how's been your mentally, physically? How do you feel?
So, I have done some different stuff this go around. I actually, you know who Brandon Allen is? He's the new arm wrestler, lives in Vegas.
I know Brandon. I know Brandon very well.
Okay. Anyway, Brandon is a weightlifting gym genius. Like, he knows his stuff in the gym, and he put together a lifting program to help my basically a bicep and chest and tri program. So I'm in the gym 3 days a week, working on biceps, and mostly bicep. Like, it's mostly a bicep oriented program. So I've been really, really working on getting stronger in that regard. I feel like I have. My lifts have gotten better. And I still got a couple weeks I can still do that. So I'm still working on that. My left, I had that injury when I broke my arm, and I've had some issues with that on and off since. I had some really bad release pain every time I'd release from, like, pressure from arm wrestling. I'd let off the pressure, it would shoot pains down my arm. I haven't had that in a couple months. It's pretty much all gone. My wrist feels better. I had been having some aches and pains with my wrist. I feel a lot better with it now. I had a massage therapist come over last night, do some trigger point massage therapy to work on my arms and get them just everything functioning the right way. And she said I felt like I was, because she does like test control movements and lets me pull into her arms and stuff. And she was pretty impressed. I didn't have any aches and pains. Everything feels good. I still have a couple range of movement, or what's the word I want to say? Range of motion issues. Like, I can't supinate my left hand over anymore because of the injury.
That's amazing. That's what you want. That's what you want. You get stuck right here. You're like, hey, buddy.
Well, so I can't do it physically, like on my own power, but I can turn it over. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, everybody's like, oh, you don't need a supinate anyway. But it's frustrating knowing that these injuries I've had have affected what my arm will do. But I think I'm to the point where I'm back overcoming that, and to a point where I'm starting to feel strong again. So I feel good. I'm anxious as I'll get out, because like, this is a huge match, and I love being considered, how do I say this without sounding really cocky and arrogant?
Oh, hey, be a little bit. You can earn your right to be a little cocky and arrogant.
Well, I love being the person or a person in this sport that is considered for these events. I like being at that level, and it's it's important for me to stay there and be able to do it as long as possible. So winning this match and having the opportunity for Ingen to maybe bring me back again, that's the kind of stuff that is like, that's the stuff I want. I really want to compete at this level, and I really want to feel, I still think that I have a chance of being as good as anybody left-handed. But I'm running out of years to do that. When all these younger kids are coming up that are just freaks. And but I want to be able to compete with them. I want to be able to be that person that can go into these events and not always be an underdog. But I do like being the underdog where the people just kind of look past me. So that kind of makes me feel good too.
Yeah, you kind of need both,
Yeah,
for a healthy balance. What's your weight now?
I'm actually bigger. I'm at I weighed in this morning at 362.
362. Ooh.
So, but what is that, like 164
kilos. 164
yeah.
kilos. It's
so that's I was about 350 against Artem.
Okay.
So I put on roughly 10 or so pounds, and I think it's good weight. I don't think it's what's that?
Waffles.
Yeah, it's waffles. No, I really feel like I put on some strength. I feel like I put on some muscle mass, and hopefully it works out for me. When I won Worlds, I was about 165 kilos, 168 kilos, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited, man. I can't freaking wait for this. You said your arm is much better now, right?
Yes.
Like our introduction to each other, kind of first conversation we had when I did the segment on you breaking your arm, right? Remember?
Yes.
Can you tell, because a lot of people still don't know about that story. What happened, how it happened, and just tell the story.
Well, I think that your video tells it way better than I do, but it was a super match I had against Robbie Topi in December of 2020. I think it was 2020. In the first match, or excuse me, the first match we slipped, went to a strap. I was able to pin him pretty quickly in the first match. Second match, he gripped really tight on my thumb. We got into a finger battle up high, and he wouldn't let go. So I kind of sat down on my tricep and I hit straight back, trying to get out of his hand so we could go to a strap. And as I did that, I felt a pop in my forearm, and I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought maybe I'd like maybe popped a tendon or a muscle of some sort. All I know is that my hand went numb. Like I couldn't feel any strength in my hand. I had zero power in my hand. And when we put the strap on after that, I knew that my hand strength was gone. So I had to rely totally on pronation and defensive back pressure. And anyway, I ended up beating him in that match 3-0. And after the match, I was talking to my wife, and I've had a few injuries. I've popped bicep tendons. I've had a bunch of different injuries, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, babe, this doesn't feel like a muscle or a tendon. This is something different. And I said, I really think I broke a bone. And she's like, seriously? And there's a few of my friends were there, and I'm like, I don't think this is a normal injury. This is something more serious. And come to find out, I had broke my radial bone in my forearm, where I had my bicep reattached. So it broke right where my bicep reattachment surgery had happened. But yeah, that's what happened. I broke my bone in the start of the second match in a super match, and the crazy thing is I had to arm wrestle. I had 4 starts after that, because we had to start, slip, start in the strap, and then had to do it all over again. And so I ended up going through 4 starts with a broken bone in my forearm, everybody says that's so cool, but looking back at it, I think, what an idiot. There were so many things that could have went wrong in my arm. Like I had to like go from a defensive position, transition to a press to win. And I just think, I know how much torque that we put on our arms, and how it stayed together is beyond me. Like it amazes me to think back and see, or to realize that my arm held together with a broken bone in those matches. It just amazes me. But the human body is an impressive thing.
I think you, like, a lot of guys will say, "Oh, I would arm wrestle if my arm broke." Like Kody did. I watched that match before I knew that you broke your arm, and I saw like first, and then I saw you kind of slowing down, and I couldn't figure out why. And then the stories on Facebook and everything, and I was like, "This is insane! Like this is insane!" Like sometimes you'll pop a tendon, or you will have like a strain or something, and you can still pull while you still have adrenaline and everything else. Broken bone.
Yeah. And it wasn't like just a little crack. It like came apart. It was in like 3 pieces.
Yeah, you sent me the MRIs.
Yeah. So had I known it was broken, I would have stopped. I would have not have arm wrestled that match. So looking back, I'm kind of glad that I didn't know it was broken, because it turned into be a pretty cool story, but not a very smart one at all.
It's probably one of the best stories in arm wrestling, you know, when it's like, yeah. So this guy broke his arm and still won the match. It's insane. And
when I told it to my doctor, when I went in to see him, and he took the x-rays, and then I showed him the video of the match, he's like, "You seriously did that with a broken arm?" And I'm like, he told me, he said, the only reason I think your arm helped, because us as arm wrestlers, our forearms are pretty defined. We've built our forearms up pretty strong. And he said that because of the muscle mass that we as arm wrestlers build up around that, it worked as a cast and held the other bone together, which I don't know. It's just, he couldn't believe it. He sent it to a bunch of his colleagues saying, "Look at this." So it was a pretty good story for sure.
It's definitely, well, as bad, you know, but you're back and everything is good. And I have a super chat question from Phil Woody. Kody loss of range of motion since surgery. Any pain still?
No pain. The pain is pretty much all gone. Like I haven't had any real pain in a few months.
That is good.
Yeah.
I wanted to get in a little way back. So how old you are now?
I will turn 49 2 days after my match with Alajan.
Okay.
So basically 49 when he and I arm wrestle.
49.
I'm an old man.
Hey, but you still keep up with the young guys, I guess, you know.
Well, I hope to be able to do that for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, arm wrestling is a weird one. Arm wrestling is a weird one, right? It's not like anything else, and it's just amazing because you can have 40-50 year long careers, you know. You just have to stay train, you know, stay active, and or be like John, just retire a bunch of times and still come back and kick everyone's ass.
Well, I did retire once. I retired for about 9 years and then came back.
Let's go back. When did you start arm wrestling?
I've been doing it now about 27 years. So what does that make it? 1990.
96?
7-ish.
Yeah,
96,
something like that. Yeah.
When I started. And I arm wrestled until about 2004 or 2005-ish. And then had some issues with my marriage. My wife didn't appreciate me spending so much time arm wrestling. She actually thought it was kind of childish. So it is. So I kind of retired, or I quit trying to save the marriage. Marriage ended up not working out anyway. And then nine and a half years later, I'm sitting on the couch with my new wife watching World Arm Wrestling League on ESPN, and I watched Travis and Eric Waffel arm wrestling for the first place, and the winner got $20,000 and the second place got $10,000. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, babe, I used to be able to compete with Eric O'Fell. I've got wins on Eric O'Fell. And I'm like, that's my money. that could be my money right there. I said, do you mind if I start training again? And she's like, no, go ahead. And that was the summer of 2015 or 2016, one of those two, I can't remember. And I got back into it, called up Jordan Sill and said, hey, can I start coming to your practices and training? And I haven't looked back since. So been training pretty serious since then. So yeah, since 1996-ish was when I started. And I'm here now, almost 50 years old.
So that 9-year absence kind of explains the hole that I had in my head, because when you won the Worlds, I was like, where did this guy come from? You know?
Yeah.
Because I was like, where did this guy come from? Because I kind of knew everyone from USA. You follow and you see the guys, and especially, and then it's yeah. Now I know, because I didn't know. Yeah. I thought you were kind of just in shadows. You're just like afraid of the light.
Yeah, I know. I was completely out of the sport. Like I had an arm wrestle, like literally touched another person's hand competitively for almost 9 years. I sometimes wonder, had I kept at it, where I would have been, what would be the differences. But then I start thinking, well, maybe my injuries would have came a lot earlier. I would have got hurt sooner and I wouldn't been able to do as much. I don't know. I think that God has plans for us all, and it works out the way that he wants it to work out. And I had a dream of being a world champion. I was able to do that. And now I just want to enjoy it and get as much out of it as I can. This sport has afforded me so many opportunities. Like when we're going to Istanbul this next trip, my wife can't go, so I'm bringing my daughter with, and she and I get an opportunity to travel the world together, and something that I couldn't afford to do it on my own. There's no way. If this event wasn't helping me out with airfare, and I wouldn't be able to go. I couldn't do it. So I've been able to travel and do a lot of cool things because of this sport, and I'm very grateful and thankful for it.
Oh, I believe it's kind of just a beginning. It's weird, but it's kind of just a beginning. And I think we're going to see a lot more high-level arm wrestling and everything else. But you've been still active all this time, right? You competed in some tournaments, or
when you mean
after Morozov match?
Oh yeah. So I had the match with Kody in December.
Yes.
And then I've been to 2 or 3 tournaments since then. Yeah. So I've been active. I've been doing okay. My right arm's getting a little bit better. I don't know. I'm actually right-handed, but for some reason or another, my right arm, it just is dumb when it comes to arm wrestling. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Was it always like this?
Pretty much, yeah. My entire career, I've always been more dominant left-handed.
And it wasn't because your right was injured or something. It just
left-handed. The arm wrestling just feels natural. Like if I think something, it just does it. Yeah. Like my hand just does it. But right-handed, if I try to do the same thing, it doesn't do it. It's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird, yeah. But you've been competing with both arms. I see you all tournaments. You always compete with both arms.
Yeah, I don't see a point in traveling somewhere and not, unless I'm injured, I'll compete with both arms.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's people who just choose one arm, like especially the new guys. And I always ask, like, I'm just gonna arm wrestle. I'm like, are you injured? I'm like, no. I'm like, why are you taking away 50% of the joy or 50% of the fun? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, first of all, if you have a bad day right-handed, doesn't mean you're going to have a bad day left-handed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you think like, oh, this arm is the champ, and on that day it just sucks, and the other one is the champ. You're like,
yeah, it's funny how that works.
Yeah.
The new kid that I've been training, Jack Crucy, he went to Istanbul the last time and competed at the youth event there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's that same way. Like one event, his right arm's the good one. The next event, his left arm's the good one. And like that kid's got a ton of potential. I'm excited to see where his future goes for sure.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's new people just gonna step in. I think more than ever, they're just everywhere, and it's the talent is getting in. All they need to understand, it will take for most. It's gonna take time. It's just gonna take
Oh
time.
yeah.
Arm wrestling is one of
Yeah.
those great sports, right?
And you've got to push your pride aside when you first go to an arm wrestling practice, because some little dude's going to whoop your ass and you're going to feel like that this is insane, that I'm this big dude and this little guy's beating me at a strength sport. But it takes time to build up the proper strength for arm wrestling.
Yeah. When you started, were you straight away, or it took time to be on a high level?
I actually was, I guess you could say I was competitive when I first started. I arm wrestled my first event. I arm wrestled amateur right-handed and open left-handed because they didn't have an amateur left-handed. I ended up taking second right-handed and third left-handed in the pro class. And I never arm wrestled another amateur class after that. So I've been competing in open or pro events from day one, and I've been pretty successful. So I won my first national championship about 4 years in. I think it was 2001, 4 or 5 years in. So I got there pretty quick, I think.
That is quick. That is definitely quick. Also, the year that you won WF, you also won Masters, right?
I did.
So you competed on that day and on.
Well, I competed Masters left-handed and I won, competed Masters right-handed and I took third.
Yeah.
And then I competed open left-handed and won.
Yeah.
So at the time, and I don't know if anybody else has done it, but I only know of three other people that have ever won a Masters first place and an open first place in the same world championship.
Yeah.
Ron Bath did it, Ingen Tiersey did it, and then one other person that I don't know the name of right now.
Okay.
I could be wrong. There might be more, but I'm only aware of 3 other people who have ever done it.
Yeah, you could be right. You could be right. Yeah. It's usually you will not, more likely you will see junior winning and then winning senior gold.
Yeah.
Than Masters. And yeah, that is definitely impressive. And I want to say something about your mustache. It looks awesome.
So it's a pain in the ass. It has a mind of its own, that's for sure.
Are you working for that Beard Struggle sponsorship as well? Like
some kind of beard oil sponsorship?
Yes, please reach out to Kody Merritt. He needs it. Look at it. It could be better. Definitely could be better, you know. I can't wait for the videos. You just
it's, you know what, I'm serious. I have a straightening comb, that I straighten my mustache with every day. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But my wife really enjoys the mustache. She doesn't care much for the beard, so I keep it shorter, but she likes the mustache, and so we'll rock it for a little bit longer anyway.
You're lucky. I haven't shaved since the last time I saw you, actually. So
well, that's a fortunate thing. You're never going to look old, Coach. It's kind of funny that I'm sitting here calling a guy that looks like a teenager Coach.
Yeah, that's curse, I guess a little bit of a curse.
It's a terrible curse. You've got to struggle with that one.
Yeah. Oh, you will look young forever. Oh no. So I always want to ask, I want to know what your goals, but I kind of know your goals and I don't want to look past your next match because that's the important thing. But from all this card, let's give you 3 or 2 matches that you kind of look really forward to, that you are kind of feel emotionally maybe invested in. Without your match, of course.
Okay. Well, I'm really excited to see Kody Gala, right?
Kody
Gali, okay.
Versus Irakli.
And versus Irakli. I think both of those two impressed me against John. Each of them in the first match, John seemed like he was pretty dominant in the first match, and then both of them came back and won their respective super matches against John. And I was super impressed with both of those kids, and I'm anxious to see what they can do. Like if you look at Kirigali, he doesn't look like, he just looks like a simple dude. Like he's not huge in his, he's just like he's I don't know, like he's like this, like you say, like the guy that shows up to drag races with a secret motor in his car that no one knows about.
F1.
So he's, what's that?
With an F1 motor, no one knows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's amazing to me what he can do, and he's so versatile, and he's got so much endurance. And then Iraq, I couldn't believe the heart that he showed. Like that dude won on pure will against John, just pure will and determination.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an amazing match. I'm so excited to see it. And I'm also, like everybody else, I'm excited to see Gennady and Devin, because like, I think Gennady's an awesome dude. He makes me laugh all the time. He's so funny. And like I watch his workout videos and he's like hanging on his machine. It's just has some other dude pulling him down so the machine doesn't pull him back up. And I just think, and he's in there talking, Devon. I love it. It makes me laugh so hard. And I don't know, I'm excited about that match. I'm really excited about that because Devin, everybody knows Devon's like a table genius, right? He knows every move ever thought of in arm wrestling, and he knows how to counter it and whatnot. But a lot of people don't understand that Gennady is also a genius at the table and has got so much in his arsenal. He can do anything, and he's quick, he's powerful, he's smart. I don't know. I really like Gennady. He's one of my favorite all-time arm wrestlers for sure. So I'm excited about that match as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like I think the whole card is, again, like every time I look at the card, it's like, this match, and closer it gets, every match gets more interesting. It has just more. And
yeah,
I'm just so happy that all these events keep happening every time. We finally, we see what we always wanted, what we wanted in the PL golden age, the East versus West. We wanted to see this, and it's finally happening. And we have to be like, this is the golden age of arm wrestling. This is the golden age of arm wrestling.
It really is. And I think it's really because of social media. As much of a pain in the butt sometimes that social media is, arm wrestling would not be where it is without it.
It's never been bigger. Never been bigger. There's a legit.
Another match that I'm anxious to see is, like, I don't know Doug very well, Doug Urlock. I know of him and I know he's super powerful, but I'm anxious to see how he's going to do against, like, finally have a good arm wrestling opponent this match. The last one was kind of sucky. The guy arm wrestled last time was terrible. My goodness, did he embarrass him? I know.
I was somewhere there. I saw it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just playing. I'm totally playing.
So as soon as we finish, I'll just go to my shower and cry a little bit, just.
Yeah, look, turn it on cold water so you know it's actually running. No, I'm excited about all the matches. There's some really good dudes. Like Paul Lynn is an amazing human being, and I'm excited to see what he can do, because, like, if you ask anybody in the world who the best 95 pound arm wrestler or 95 kilo arm wrestler, they're probably going to tell you Sasha, number one in the world, regardless. And Paul, I think Paul can get in there and mix it up. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Like, he's just amazing.
Yeah. He's been the guy since the start. Like, he's been the guy. Like he was the guy in line for WL championship, like before it all went downhill. And without him being like the best guy ever, like the best guy, he's a great arm wrestler and just getting better and better. And he's a student of the game, dedicated, motivated, and disciplined. Just, I can't wait for this. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. I'm excited about it for sure.
Yeah. I will not take any more of your time. We're going to finish today. I would just wanted to say thank you. Tomorrow, I'm talking with Brendan Elsesser. It's already up, so you can find it. Any words for your opponent?
I think it's only fair if he goes half speed. I'm twice his age. He should go half as fast.
But you go half power.
Well, I think his power is as strong as mine. I'm still twice his age.
Okay, then. Okay, I'll tell him. I will really tell him. I'll tell him. So Kody, he wants you to know just to go half speed, just to go half.
Yeah, half speed. I mean, it's only fair. Just ask him, do you respect your elders?
Yes.
Do you really respect your elders and want them to be happy in life?
Yes.
That's the question you got to approach him with.
That's a good one.
I've been talking to him. I've been messaging him a little bit, and he's a very humble kid. Like, he's a good kid. I keep trying to get him to like, I'll say jokes about how fat I am or how old I am. And he's like, no, you're just big. You're so strong. Like, he's so
yeah,
courteous, and I don't know. He's a good kid.
Yeah. You send me that message. I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's different between you and someone with respect.
Yes.
Coach.
Yes. Humble. I'm
Humble.
Humble.
Yeah, just ask you. You'll tell him.
Yeah, I'll do. Thank you, Kody. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Yeah, stay strong. Love arm wrestling.